Shit Talker Black. How I found him. Well, the one time, after they had me, so targeted, I had nowhere to stay. I had to stay with other people. I used to be a vegetarian, but once I had to stay with other people, I had to eat what was there. They also made me financially broke, put it like that. So I ate some double stuffed vanilla Oreos. I've never eaten one since. Never, ever have I eaten one since. And I felt okay and everything. I went and got in the shower. I danced in the shower. I did all kind of shit. And then I got out the shower. I dried off. I set my ass down on the toilet to put my clothes on. And wow, all of a sudden I just got sick. I mean, so fucking sick. I didn't know if I need to put my face or my ass in the toilet. Praise Yahweh, I cleaned up there. So I had a bucket under the sink. I grabbed the bucket for my face. So I thought it was the Oreo cookie that I ate. But there was a sound going on, but I didn't pay attention to it at that time. And I said then, and when I got sick like that, I said, damn, now I know what people mean by they felt sick. I mean, it felt so great. And then all of a sudden I'm sick like that, And that's what I mean when they said they go into your mind. Because they saw me eat the Oreo cookies. So now they can play a game with me, with my body, to make me so sick that I just say I'm shitty out of both ends. My mouth, I'm throwing up, in my ass, I'm shitty. I mean, diarrhea like a storm, and I ate like 3 of the cookies. Wasn't like I gorged on the motherfuckers. I ate only 3. And so, and the guy, his name is George, Gorge. So, it happened to me a couple of times, Then one time they did it, and I heard the same sounds, but I paid attention to it that time. And it was, like a lawnmower, or what they cut the bushes with or whatever, and the garbage truck. Together, those two things made me sick. That was a different sound. Not a different sound, but it had something to do with the sounds. Also had something to do with a program that they programmed for me to fall sick like that. And when I felt sick, I felt like I was drunk. It didn't last much, maybe 30 minutes. So I went and I put in sickness, nausea, dizziness, mind control. Because I put in sounds, because I remembered each time that happened, there were these sounds. It happened maybe 6 times, and maybe over maybe an 8-year period or something like that. But it happened 6 times, and I also knew that, like if you have stomach flu or something, that is your body getting out the mercury, because we have too much mercury in our body, because they deal with mercury, and the GMOs and chemtrails and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So I put in sickness, nausea, and dizziness, and sounds, and this bitch came up. And I went to read about them. I said, okay, you are one of my enemies. He's our common enemy, and he also owns the patents. And these are the things that leaders, whether you're black or pink, it doesn't matter. You guys should do some research and give this kind of shit to them. But then if they ask for a donation, then they are handless. Get away from anyone who does not give you this information for free, because this information is very serious. We all need to know it. Like the man said, if you don't know, then you won't be able to understand when this shit start going on around you. I know what he's talking about, because I was like that. Some people today, I can tell them what's going on and they still don't fucking know. Okay, so that's one guy. Well, 2 really, but he is more so the supremacist. The other one will be called the Jesuit. He is more so a supremacist. Also, those who are telling you about Jesuits, like Jesuits on this, Jesuits on that, no, they don't. There's a book called Secret Terrorists. Read it, and they will tell you what a Jesuit is. A Jesuit is anyone. They can be perps today, you know, and they purpose someone, you know. You may not, they may not have a job, but yet they pay their rent, and don't ask them how they get their income. You know, damn, how do you do all this? You're not working, and you know they don't sell drugs. You know they don't. So where your money coming from? How are you getting all this? I need to know that shit. I tell people I need to know that shit because I'm a target. If they get mad, I know you are a perp, and they stay the fuck away from you. I don't give a damn how much you want to do for me. Say you want to do for me, because you're just a perp to handle me for the handlers.
Experimental subjects feel that they had been.
He had experimental subjects. That means he used men to find out how he can get in your mind. Another thing about him, you probably can't see it, but his name is Michael. I think that's P-E-R, singer, but this bitch is a singer. Michael, M-I-C, the bitch is on the mic, isn't he? And then there's your God. That was in something else too. Orwell. See, his name was Orwell. He was a god too, you see. And he's telling on this guy. Really, Orwell is singing on this guy to tell on him, because his was 1980, Orwell's was 4 years later, to tell everyone if you bought his book or what was going on. And he probably got, you know, he got paid to write the book, you know, but I guess he had to get paid to keep it going so he can get the information out. As they say, I don't know one pink motherfucker from a next, unless he is a targeted individual, and I know he's targeted. Then I know you're not a pink supremacist. Other than that, you're just a pink supremacist. They are pink supremacists because they know more about this information than us. That does make them supreme over us to come up with some stupid shit like this, you know, because he has a caveman mind. You know, they're retarded. They're always fucking in other people's mind because their mind is so dark and gloomy and shit. So they fuck with other people's mind to make their lives dark and gloomy and shit. But they are supreme to any melanated leader or black leader, or whatever he wants to call himself, leader. They are supreme to them, because the black leaders, they don't know what's going on here. My Abba did not know what was going on. My Abba just knew he did not know who was who, and he sure didn't. And he even went right back to the one that came into the nation of Yahweh to start it all off, Carmel. CIA agent Carmel. But by that time, you know, they had lobotomized my Abba, so whatever.
Abducted by aliens or had an encounter with angels or God.
See, they make you think that you were abducted by aliens. See, because there are many people that are researching this shit and telling shit for free, and they're going to be found out. So now they want to blame it on aliens. So they make you think it's aliens. They condition you that way.
Use of a modified motorcycle helmet equipped with solenoids to send electromagnetic pulses.
No, he needed subjects. I will show you who all the subjects are if they show it again.
God can be generated by a process that.
If you experience God, it can be generated by a process. But he needed subjects. You see who the subjects are? Their own. So they go into the mind of their own and fuck it up. This is not the first time. They've been doing this shit forever. Like Freud, he was a sex crazed maniac because he comes out of a cave. He doesn't know better. And so every time they would go and see him, he would take everything they had and put it back on sex. There are now melanated ones. I'm just going to call them black because they're black. Black males, they're running around saying that the black female has dick envy. That came from Freud. In any time a female, she says, you know, this is happening to me or whatever is going on with her, but it more so seems like there are males who are doing these things to her. She's angry at these males. Then he would tell them that they have dick envy, penis envy. That man was sick in the brain, and you know he's number one top psychologist. Psychiatry, the psychiatrists, they're all sick in the brain. Even if they are black, they have the Neanderthal way of thinking. So he's a caveman too.
Has nothing to do with whether God exists or not. Dr. Person
Has nothing to do with whether God exists or not. You know, so many targeted individuals, they don't even know they're targeted though. Even targeted individuals, they will stay their ass with God because they fear. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Say, I don't fear these pink bastards. I don't give a fuck. You can electronically waterboard me all motherfucking day long, what sometimes they do. I don't give a fuck. Kill me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid of you. This is the big bad world. This is your pink supremacist. And there are many more that come with him. See, this guy, I told you, he'll be on all circuits. And his name and income, a bag of income. He's also rich. He just doesn't have the R, but I can do string theory and remove this piece here and give you a R. ICAC is rich from running and telly. But he is supposed to, because they want us to know, but they don't want us to know. That's why they put music behind this shit. Then he has this is global mind control, and he is done in 2013. There were so many melanated targets, new melanated targets. 2013, the old ones were going down the drain, going into shit. And this is by a digger did it. Wow, like a nigga did it. Yeah, this nigga did it.
Singer published the paper on the possibility of directly accessing every human brain by electromagnetic induction.
You hear that? Every human brain, they call themselves humans too. So this is not a black and white thing. This is a earthling thing. And I did say this is a non-melanated and melanated thing, but when I said that, I mean it's our thing. We're like all in this fucking machine together. If we're nowhere else together, we're under this mind control targeting individual shit together, and that will make us brothers and sisters.
Fundamental Algorithms, 1995. Quote, a process which is coupled
This was in 1995.
to the narrow band of brain temperature could allow all normal human brains to be affected by a subharmonic.
All. You heard that? All normal human brains. But they will make your baby not normal so they can fuck with your baby and have fun with your baby. You won't even know it. I lived on the street, right? And then one day I just heard this screaming, and I'm like, wow, what the hell is that? You know, and everyone on the street, you know, they seem to, you know, I just moved over there, right? So they seem to, this shit is normal to them. And they say, oh, that's the child across the street, you know, you guys have another word for it. It's politically correct, but I don't remember it. So they say he's retarded, you know. And he screams like that. And my mind says, no, he doesn't. They have him on a machine to have him scream like that because he can be an interruption for his parents. He can be frustration for his parents. You know, he can be an irritant to his parents and to those who live on the street because the whole, you know, where I lived across the street from where he was screaming, and he was in his apartment. And then I saw in a movie, Control Factor, is it actually the little boy screaming? Or was it a tape recorder? You have to ask yourself that. Sometimes you think your neighbors are always fighting. Come to find out, it's a fucking tape recorder. It is not your neighbors.
Frequency range at 10 hertz would vary only by 0.1 hertz.
Nasty bitch ass bastard.
Variations of noise within the matrices could potentially differentiate between individual brains.
He's a Jew too. See that fucking nose? Nose like a beak.
In other words, individuals could be identified by the specific characteristics.
Individuals can be identified by certain characteristics. Wow.
Of their brain output. He goes on further. Identification of these sequences could also allow direct access to the most complex neurocognitive processes associated with the self, human consciousness, and the aggregate of experimental representations. representations, in other words, episodic memory, that define the
Episodic memory. Episodic memory. I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to see what the fuck does episodic mean. Shit talker, lay out.